Hello my fellow weirdos, it's me Marie, welcome back to my channel. If you're wondering why I am dressed like I'm about to get murdered by a vampire in some kind of BBC drama, it's because today's video I thought it only apt that I look like I myself am a ghost, and this to me is what I would wear if I was a ghost. It's the sleeves that do it for me. I'm gonna stop doing that now. Today's video is something a little bit different because it's spooky season. Halloween, my favourite time of year. I thought I would count down 10 of the most haunted locations in Ireland, which if you don't know and can't guess from my accent is where I live. Before I step into the realms of the ghostly, I don't know why I've become like deeper voiced and I'm talking like this in a more dramatic fashion. It just feels apt for today's topic. But I wanted to talk to you before that about local haunts. Do you see the connection between the video and the book there? Oh God, I'm so clever. Local haunts, if you are unaware and have not been seeing the many posts I have been making about it, is an anthology of horror stories put together and all written by Horrortubers like myself. It includes people like me, Hey Little Thrifter, Book Movie Guy, aka Cameron Cheney, Regina's Haunted Library. She's actually, Regina Sinclair's the person who put this together, and thank you so much for doing that. And as I said, my story is inside it as well. And the idea is that it's kind of like bringing all of us together, all us Horrortubers together to give you guys something spooky to read in spooky season Halloween, but also to help a good cause. I'm going to look at the blurb here so that I don't mix it up. But the charity that the proceeds from this book is going to is called First Book, which is, they believe in the education is the best way out of poverty for children in need. And they aim to remove barriers to quality education for all kids by making everything from new high quality books and educational resources to sports equipment, winter coats, snacks and more affordable to its members network of more than 475,000 educators who exclusively serve kids in need. So they get books, winter coats, food in the hands of kids who need them. So it's a really good charity. You're helping a good cause, but you also get to read some awesome spooky stories all centered around the theme of local haunts, and including my story. So get in there, get your copy now. I'll put the link down below. Help a good cause and give yourself something to read. That's me plugging. Plug. Buy this book. I can't wait to read it and expect a review coming soon. But now, kind of drop that a little bit too far there. For now, I'm going to give you my haunted locations. So, full disclosure, I haven't been to any of these. Not even the ones that are right by my house. And I need to do something about that. So I've actually already suggested to Ali, who kind of helps me with my channel. He's like my partner with this channel. Not my partner in real life if his wife is watching. Hey Vicky. He edits the videos and stuff like that and does all the technical stuff because I'm useless. I suggested to him that it might be a good idea for us to do some filming at some of the locations in this, because Ireland's a tiny country and it wouldn't take us long to drive to most of them, even the furthest away. So if that is something that you would be interested in and you would like to see videos of, please let me know down below and we can do kind of a more deep dive video of these individual locations. But for now, I'm going to tell you guys the ones I've researched. Also, there are so many purportedly haunted locations in Ireland. Being a very old country, full of tragedy and death and murder and war, there are a lot of places that are supposed to be haunted. I had a tough time narrowing it down, I'm not going to lie. So I could do a part 2 for this video and probably a part 3 as well, and probably a part 4. I could keep going is what I'm saying. So if you like this video and you want to see more, again, let me know in the comments, because it was really fun to do the research and I'm kind of excited to eventually check these out. So the first one, oh, also I tried to kind of even it out between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland to kind of even it, because I myself am from Northern Ireland. But like I said, it's a tiny country overall, so we can visit all of these really. Okay, first up is the one that I should have been to already. It has actually become a really big tourist attraction here in Northern Ireland, and that is Crumlin Road Gaol. Crumlin Road Gaol, as the name suggests, is a jail. It's no longer in use. It has a history dating back to 1845, and it's where 17 men were executed over their 150-year history. Many people have experienced all sorts of paranormal happenings at the jail, including like tourists and visitors, but also staff members and people who worked in the jail when it was still active, because it was active until very recently. In fact, I have family members who worked in the jail, so you can go on a paranormal tour of it, and I have always wanted to do it, especially their Halloween ones. They look particularly good, so I'll maybe see if we can squeeze something like that in for the end of the month, but probably not. But either way, I need to visit it. It's supposedly haunted by the some of the executed prisoners. So that's number 10. These are in no particular order, by the way. Again, trying to sort of include some from Northern Ireland, we have the Giant's Ring in Belfast, thought to date back as far as 2700 BC. I told you it was an old country. Pre-Christian religious site in Shaw's Bridge. It has Neolithic graveyard in it, and it's been associated with lots of paranormal activity. People who have visited have said that they got suddenly surrounded by a thick and impenetrable mist, and when they travelled in a straight line hoping to find their way out of it, somehow ended up right back at the centre of the giant ring, where there is a menhir, which is a small druidic altar. So love the sound of that. On a side note, I want to write a short story about pretty much every one of these locations, so see that in the near future. Okay, this is one location I actually have been to. At number 8, we have Grace Neill's in Donaghadee. Now, this is a pub. Is it bad that the only location on the list that I've been to is a pub? Probably. But it's quite a famous pub because it's purported to be the oldest pub in Ireland. Grace Neill's has been around since 1611. Yes, you heard that right, 1611, and has been a pub the entire time. For over 400 years, it was known as the King's Arms, but Grace Neill ran the inn for much of the 19th and 20th century, which is why it's called Grace Neill's. And she is said to keep a watchful eye over the pub from beyond the grave. Because it's an old pub, it's really small as well. So like if you're particularly tall, you have to kind of duck down. But it's full of character and they do really good food. I'm just plugging away here. Sponsor me, Grace Neill's. Free food, please. Apparently, staff and people visiting have seen things from moving glasses, moving books, cold spots, just general paranormal activity and unsettling goings on. So that's that. Then we have at number 7, Crom Estate in Fermanagh. This is situated on the shoreline of Upper Loch Earn. It is a 2,000-acre domain. I don't know how to pronounce that word. With fantastic views, and it's surrounded by woodland. I got this on like a tourist website, by the way. On the surface, National Trust, and it's supposed to be very beautiful, tranquil, lovely. You can take part in a ghost walk through the castle ruins, where you'll encounter one of the oldest yew trees in Ireland, aged between 400 and 1,000 years old. Then you continue around the loch side, where spectral lights have been witnessed above theatres of Loch Earn. And you'll also pass through the walled garden and go through the grounds of the estate. And apparently there are supposed to be spirits wandering the grounds, spectral lights. Again, general kind of ghostly ruins, which I suppose for a site that's that old isn't to be unexpected. A lot of these I included because I just really love the stories behind them. The Abbey of the Black Hag in County Limerick. I need to go to this place. So apparently this is hidden in Shanagolden. It is the remains of a medieval convent where the prioress, a lady of the Fitzgeralds from Shanad Castle, terrified the local population with her use of the black arts. That's right, she was a witch. And she also performed sexual practices and magic. Sounds like my kind of lady. The sacristy where she is buried is called Black Hag's Cell, after the blackness of her face when she died. Love it. Other reported ghosts include the Countess of Desmond, who was buried alive in the Abbey. Eek. A mistake that came to light when her menacing ghostly figure prompted an investigation of her makeshift grave, where her finger bones were found to be worn out and ragged, from clawing. Yep, they accidentally buried the poor woman alive, and she died screaming and trying to claw her way out to the point that she, like, broke her fingers and wore them down. Yikes. Apparently you can still hear her screaming to this day, trying to get out of her grave. So, yeah. That makes me just really want to visit the place. Next up, we have the Cork District Lunatic Asylum. Guys, abandoned lunatic asylum is enough to make me want to go, but when you hear the stories, you're going to want to go even more. It reminds me again of American Horror Story. The tortured echoes of ghostly inmates have been heard from miles around and have even been recorded in the abandoned asylum built in 1798 by William Saunders Halloran, author of the first book on Irish psychiatry and inventor of Halloran's chair. I'll put the articles, I found these in down below, by the way, so you can check them out. Halloran's chair was a rotating chair that spun the hysterical patient at 100 revolutions per minute. Okay. That sounds like a legitimate treatment for mental health and not a torture device. Anyway. Apparently the whole place is haunted by the spirits, restless spirits and souls that were forced to stay there and were apparently experimented on and tortured. Love it. Next we have, okay, this I'm really excited about. Okay, I have read this before in other articles. There is a theory that Bram Stoker, obviously he was Irish. There's a theory that Dracula himself was not from Transylvania, not based on Vlad the Impaler, but was in fact an Irish legend. And by legend I mean it was a real guy. Now whether he was a vampire or not, I don't know, but he was a real guy. Abhartach, the original male vampire, and arguably the first vampire legend in the whole world, is buried in Glenulin in County Derry. He was buried like standing upright but upside down, if you know what I mean. So like vertically but upside down. Abhartach comes from Lacht Abhartach, which is, I'm so sorry that I'm butchering Irish, sepulchral monument of the dwarf, as the vicious blood-drinking black magic practicing monster was apparently a bit of a short arse. Apparently the druids called him Red Bloodsucker, and I've read before that he used to demand a bowl of blood from the peasants who lived on his land, and that like people went missing and mutilated corpses were found, and that this guy was blamed for it. It was said that he couldn't be killed with like a traditional weapon. They tried, and the only way to kill him was to stake him with yew wood through the heart and bury him facing down in the earth, vertically, as I'd said. And apparently the area now has got like a reputation for being haunted by him, but also being like bad earth, bad ground, that the ground itself is now cursed by his presence within it. And the legend goes that Dracula, basically, is based on him. Bram Stoker would have known this tale because he is Irish. And that also the name Dracula comes from the Irish Dracula, which means bad blood. Dracula. I mean, come on. Dracula was Irish. There you go. BBC, you made that new recent version. Let's get on it. Let's update it. Instead of making him Cockney English, let's make him Irish like he was meant to be. I want to see a film about that. That would be a really good film. Okay, then we have the Hellfire Club in County Dublin. You're going to see why I included this one. It's a hunting lodge, which on the surface, you know, old hunting lodge, I guess creepy in a way, but apparently it was the site of a satanic club. Yep. Apparently they dressed up as Satan, drank whiskey, and may have eaten a servant girl alive. Yikes. Founded in 1735 by a Richard Parsons, he was the first Earl of Ross and the first Grand Master of the Irish Freemasons. He gained a reputation as a sorcerer dabbling in black magic using ancient scrolls looted from the Great Library of Alexandria in 1270. He wrote a book called Dionysus Rising and started the sacred sect of Dionysus to celebrate the joys of Bacchus and Venus, drinking, and sex. They later became the Hellfire Club, where giant screaming black cats were captured, caged, and roasted for up to 4 days. So we've got murder, cannibalism, and animal cruelty, and Satanism, all in one story there. If that place isn't haunted, I mean, I don't know where it would be. I really want to visit that one. Again, how many of these would make amazing short stories or films? Oh, I love it. Okay, then we have the Leamaneh Castle in County Clare. Big ruined castle. Apparently there is an apparition of a red-haired girl who wanders around cackling and screaming, and she is known as Red Mary. Now, Red Mary was a bit of a girl. She married 25 times. Most of them died very early, mysterious deaths. And apparently her third husband was murdered by her by pushing him unceremoniously off the roof of the castle. The sadistic Mary kept a harem of young men disguised as maidservants while torturing her real female maids by cutting off their breasts and hanging them by their hair. Delightful. This psychopath was eventually sealed alive by the locals into a hollow tree trunk where she starved to death. Holy moly. So again, there's a lot to unpack there. We have an old school Black Widow marrying men left, right and centre and bumping them off. She's got a harem of sex slaves that she has cross-dressing as maids so that she can get away with torturing the actual maids, sadistically, psychotically, cutting parts of them off. And when she was eventually caught, she was sealed inside the hollow trunk of a tree where she just starved to death. I mean, again, if that is not a haunted location, I don't know where it would be. And also, write for short story material, right? I need to write short stories about all these places. Okay, then we have the Aughrim Battlefield in County Galway. This is a battlefield which is basically one gigantic cemetery. The Jacobite army was massacred there, and there was literally thousands and thousands and thousands of bloody, mutilated corpses all over this battlefield. And they were just left there to the elements to rot and fall apart, and their bones were just left there. So yes, the Williamites made Jacobean blood apparently flow down the hillside. That's how many people they killed. And you can still hear the screaming of those soldiers who were just left there to rot. And one point in the field where blood has gathered in one big large pool is known as the Bloody Hollow, apparently. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I got a lot of those from the an article in the Irish Times, which I'll link down below, and some from a tourism website, which I'll also link down below. But that is the ones out of the many, many that I found online that I really liked the sound of. I want to visit all of them, every single one. But if you guys would be interested in some videos of us visiting these locations, let me know in the comments which ones in particular you would like us to visit, or to hear more about and do a more in-depth video. If you want another kind of top 10 like this, let me know. Again, I love the idea of hauntings, and I'm totally open to there being ghosts, but I'm gonna remain skeptical until one pops out and yells boo and convinces me. That's just in my nature. I'm a naturally skeptical person. So, but I kind of want to experience paranormal like activity, but at the same time I don't. So I'm just a big old conflict ball of emotions on that particular one. But if you guys have had any experiences with ghosts or any stories or anything like that you'd like to tell me down below, please let me know. As I said, I'm totally open to the idea, and I love the idea of there being ghosts, and I kind of hope there are. I will also, as I said, put the link, I say so much in every video, per my previous comments, I will put the link to the Local Haunts book down below if you want to help a good cause and have some creepy ghost stories as well to carry on from this video. Please click the link and buy yourself a copy now. Every penny helps. And that's it for this video. I am now going to take my sort of, I don't know, nighty with me, and haunt somewhere that preferably has food because I'm kind of hungry. And that's me for now. I'll see you in your nightmares. That was a terrible line. I'll just see you in the next video. Bye.